Hey guys, Jen here. Welcome to Dream Life or Bust. So, something I've been thinking about today and sort of been experiencing this all day long today is these little signs and signals that the universe is sending me to just be like, yeah, like keep going. Sort of like it's almost like getting a thumbs up from the universe, like, yeah, you got this, like it's happening. And I feel like that kind of stuff happens all the time, especially once we decide we want something and we actually start taking action toward it. I feel like the universe is always like giving us winks and like thumbs up to say like, yeah, this is, keep going, you're going in the right direction, or, this is meant to be. And a lot of the times we just don't pay attention. And so then we'll say, oh, this isn't working, or, it's not working fast enough, or nothing's happening. And what's really going on is that there are things happening. It's just they're not huge things, or they're not things that maybe, right now you would consider to be a big sign that like, yes, this means it's coming, to fruition. But if you start to pay attention to those little signs, you'll start to realize that like there are a ton of them. And the more you pay attention, the more you'll find. And eventually, as the thing you're looking, to create, the thing you want to have show up in your life is actually showing up, you'll start to look back and sort of in hindsight and say, oh, like I remember when this happened and this happened and this happened. And suddenly it's like, it makes complete sense. But right now, since it hasn't happened, you have to look for the little signs. And those are ways to know that, it is working. And it's also a way to stay motivated to keep going. Because I think sometimes if we feel like, well, it's not working, or, it's not happening fast enough, that we get discouraged and then we don't want to keep going. And so if you really do take some time every day to just pay attention to the little things, it really can make a big difference. And then what ends up happening is that you feel more motivated to keep going because you feel like, yes, that was a sign, that this is going to happen. So just a few examples for you from my life recently. So one is that, and this was something I don't know if I've told everybody about this, but I'm about to start working on a screenplay. So that's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time now. And I've always wanted to see my stories as a movie. That's kind of a dream I've had pretty much my whole life. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to turn my stories into a movie, I probably need to write a movie script. So that's what I'm going to be doing starting this month is I'm going to write a screenplay. And the crazy thing is, before I even decided I was going to do this, I just sort of started to allow myself to actually want that dream and to just believe that I could have it. I actually started writing in my journal every day. My stories get turned into movies, and, I'm a screenwriter and all these things. And this was like, I hadn't told anybody about it. It was sort of just something I was kind of doing on my own. And then a girl in my free Facebook group, the 1% Writers Club, a girl who I've never met before, who I think I might have spoken to her on the phone one time. We had a free call at one point, but we've never met in person or anything like that. She posted in the group and was like, oh my God, I had a dream last night that we were on the set of your novel being turned into a movie. And to me, that was like a huge sign, like, holy shit, the universe is like, yes, like huge sign to be like, yes, go write the screenplay, like go do this, like almost like a confirmation that the dream is like meant to be like, yes, go do this. Like you wanted to do this and you got this confirmation. Now, a lot of times we have stuff like that happen and we think, oh, like whatever, it doesn't really count. It's not like a big deal. Or we come up with like reasons why it's coincidental, or, we kind of find ways to rationalize it away. So here's like some other examples. So my husband and I were just having dinner and we were talking about 90s girls, like 90s singers who he really thought has like a great voice. And so he mentioned like Natalie Imbruglia and Natalie Merchant, and he was just naming off some people. And then it was like we were going back and forth about Natalie Imbruglia, and all of a sudden her song came on the radio in the restaurant while we were hanging out. And it's like, okay, I mean, yeah, maybe it's a satellite radio station and you could argue away all the, rationalize it all away if you wanted to, or you could just be like, that's a total sign of the law of attraction right there. Like you talk about it and it just shows up. Like that's law of attraction. So to me, that was a huge sign. And also just kind of cool because I feel like, again, that's just like a nod or like a wink from the universe saying like, yes, this is real. This is happening. And then something else that happened to me earlier today, so again, these are sort of just the things I've been experiencing lately, is I was calling around to get pricing on pod storage boxes. So like when you're moving, obviously you either have to rent a truck or you have to rent a storage box. And we don't really want to drive another budget truck across the country, even though we've done it before, but we just don't want to do it now. So we're like, all right, well, let's look into a storage thing. And so I was calling around looking for pricing, and I found the perfect one. perfect pricing, like everything was a perfect everything, and they didn't have anything available. They're like, well, at this point we don't have anything available in your area. And so I was like, all right, well, maybe if I call back in a couple of weeks or something, like they'll have something. And right before I got off the phone with the guy, he was like, oh my God, like, I don't know what just happened. He's like, something just popped up on my computer screen. Like, I think somebody just canceled their reservation because one of the boxes came available. And I was like, no way, like, this is awesome. So, again, that was almost like a sign to me from the universe saying like, yes, like this move is happening. This move is a done deal. This is the next step in your journey. And it was almost like a confirmation because the box became available as I made the call to, set it up. So, anyway, the reason I wanted to do this was because I just wanted to sort of point out the fact that this kind of stuff happens all the time, probably in your own life as well, but you just don't really pay attention to it. So what I recommend doing and what I'd like to do is have an evidence list or a gratitude list, but basically you would just keep a list of all these little things that happen. And that way you can sort of like collect evidence to be like, yes, this is proof that my dream life is coming to life, or this is proof that whatever goal you have or whatever you're trying to manifest, like these are little signs to say that, yes, this is working, this is going to happen. So that would be my tip for you. Just pay attention to all the stuff happening around you, because a lot of the times, if you do that, you'll start to see that, the things you want for your life and your dream life and the goals you have, they're actually starting to unfold already. It's just you're not paying attention to those little things that are happening, or you're rationalizing them away with, well, it doesn't really mean anything, or it doesn't really whatever. So definitely think about having an evidence list. This is something like I have it hanging on the wall in my bedroom, and just like once a night, I don't do it every night, but when I remember to, I'll write a few things on there that happened over the last few days of little signs that I saw that said like, yes, this is, to me, this is saying, yes, this is a done deal, or this is happening. That one about the girl who had the dream about my novel becoming a movie, like that was crazy, but it was so cool at the same time because it was like, yes, to me, that was a total sign. And yeah, like it hasn't happened yet. Obviously, I haven't even written the screenplay, but the point is that to me was a confirmation of like, yes, do this. Like this is something you're meant to do. So if you don't already have an evidence list or a gratitude list, so it could be both. You could also, at the end of the day, make a list of all the things you're grateful for that happened in the day, and you could include things like the little signs and signals that you received that said, yes, this is happening, or, just to remind you that you are on the right track. To me, when I'm getting signs like that, it tells me that I'm in alignment, that I'm feeling high vibe, and that, I know that I'm manifesting in that moment. So that's what I like to sort of use as a confidence boost for when you feel like, oh man, like stuff isn't happening, or it's not happening fast enough. Because we do have that, I feel like people are very impatient. Humans as a whole are very impatient. We like to think everything has to happen really fast and overnight. And so, if for some reason you start to feel that way, then just take a few moments to look around and just pay attention to the signs that are happening around you, because I guarantee you're seeing them. You're just probably not registering it or paying attention to it. So that is what I have for you. Go get yourself an evidence list so you can keep track of how your dream life is coming to life, because the more you do that, the more you're going to start seeing stuff happening, and then bigger and bigger stuff. Hey, Lisa, I love writing screenplays. Yeah, I'm excited to get started. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I've been reading books on it, and I'm finally ready to just dive in and get going, and I've got a perfect story that's ready to get written. So love the idea of keeping track. Yeah, that to me is just one of those, what you focus on expands. So if you focus on what's working, if you focus on the little signs and signals that you're getting, that's just going to expand them and create more of it. So, why not pay attention to it? All right, so that is what I have for you tonight. And if your dream writing life includes being a novelist, then be sure to check out my Mid-Year Motivator writing bundle that is on sale right now. It's only on sale until Friday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. You can get access to all of my best stuff for under $100, all in one package. So be sure to go to jenniferblanchard.net/midyearmotivator to check that out. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow.